Welcome back, generals, to another Let's Fix Generals 0 hour to make the best game ever. Good, let's clean up our tabs here a little bit. Has been piling up over the course of the workday. Yeah. Okay, so. Good, let's see what we have here. Oof. Okay, we have a lot of here. Okay. Alright. Game crash if the owner of a civilian ferry press go without the needed setup. What? And you place a civilian ferry and make it so the player owns it, but it is not set up at all. If you press go, then the game will straight on crash. Okay. Huh. Okay. Bug. Major crash. Okay, so this also mod, right? Mods. Milestone stability fixes. China speaker tower animation issues. The red particle effect of the speaker are not positioned above the leaning tower. At frame 0 here is still doing the initialization. Type art minor civilian. Clear knits. The arrow back button when chatting has a missing pixel when you click on it. What? The button got 3 phases. One normal, one near and a half over bottom when you click it. The image when you click it is missing the pixel. I mean, he means this, yeah? Maybe that's a... I don't know, is it a TGA texture or what is it? Let me see. Projects. Game files, yeah. Here. Art text. No, I think it's an. Yeah, it is our textures. Oof. The question is, what texture is it? I think it's one of these guys. Huh. What is this? I never seen that. This is mines, EMP, frenzy, some attack. Never seen this in game. Never seen that. God, that's also not used. Not used. Not used. Not used. Yeah. Here. Oh, that's for generals. Oh. SCS. That means for 0 hour it's in data, language, English, art, textures. Here, there we go. Shit. Yeah. 512. This one. No. This one. What pixel? Can we open it? Hello? Yeah. The texture looks fine. Ah, here, there we go. That's so minor. Baked in texture. Oh, it's minor. Super minor. My gosh. Is the component also an impression that it's just temporary? Add so much code, I would be shocked if it doesn't add incompatibilities. The PR that I made and is waiting for approval only made release mode compatible when debug logging and or debug crashing is enabled. Okay. Yes, it is a bit confusing. It's a bit confusing. The way the AI group lifetime is handled. Okay, let's take a look at this guy. These enums prove to be a source of compilation errors when compiling with Clang. Change outdated style from enum to enum name, forward declare enums. Factor. Maybe we should say fix Clang compile errors with enum. Fix Clang compile errors with enum. Enum use style. Fix Clang compile errors with enumeration previously declared with non-fixed underline. Fix Clang compile errors with filter types. Okay, so that's compile bug. Fix minor. I wonder why the author wrote it like that to begin with. It's very unusual. Maybe because of like struct and class, like how it's done in C. Yeah, in C I think you write like struct name, class name, maybe even enum name. type name. Yeah. Maybe. Because you can have, the reason is that you can declare a struct filter modes, enum filter modes, and class filter modes, right? These can all coexist. They don't collide. They can share the same name. But then if you use them, you then need to say it's an enum or a struct or a class. Otherwise, it's ambiguous and it won't know which one it is. That's why in C, you often see this constructor of struct name, type def, struct name, and then behind the struct is like this type def name, right? So then the type def then blocks any other type from taking this name because that would collide with the type def. Yeah. Okay. Is that it? That's it. Okay, cool. That's good. Updated the title to clarify that this caused compiler and it's not just a refactor. This is for both generals and zero, right? Generals. Yeah. Oops. Oh, there are three. Fix Clang compile errors with enum. Maybe we rename that to with enum. With enum filter types, filter most. I think that's a bit simpler. Fix Clang compile errors with maybe we should have a plural enums with enums. Yeah, sorry for renaming it so often, but I can't decide. Yeah. Okay. 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 So make the code compile. Okay, so type name. Okay, so this one still needs rebasing. This needs rebasing. Let's rebase. Right mouse button scrolling, so needed a refactoring of my original implementation. To scale the scrolling based on the current logic rate and not the fixed 30 FPS. fucking clients. Current FPS. Okay. Frames per second limits. Okay. Position factor here is divided by 2 to provide more fine-grained control. This seems really arbitrary here. This division by 2 looks arbitrary. How did you determine that the division, that this scale is correct, is the most desirable setting? Because I would imagine that this also depends on the sensitivity of the device, right? Like how fast it actually moves. So this is strange. He probably fine-tuned it to his local setup, right? But does it make sense? It probably should be like something that the user scales and not that is scaled here with some magic number, right? Like you could also scale it with 1.5 or 3 or 500, right? Right? None is more correct than the other, because the correct would be to not scale it at all here with a fixed value. Yeah. Only do the, this one is a scale. There we go. Wait. Yeah. This is a scalar. Yeah. What is scroll AMT? What is that? Tough. 100. What is that? How was this decided? Okay. It's crazy to have a virtual call for getting FPS. Yeah. max FPS limit. Okay, how about we get hands on this? Okay. Fix viewport scrolling. Let's see that. Okay. Let's see how that's placed then. Yeah. Right mouse button. Getting this wrong is critical. Or getting this right is critical. Both ways. Better not get this wrong, because the right mouse button scroll is the most important scroll of them all. Nobody uses arrow keys. No one uses, well, not no one, but the pros, they use right mouse button. They don't use edge border scroll or arrow key scroll because they're just too slow, right? So this bit better work well here. Yeah, I'm skeptical of the division by 2. Yeah. And in general, this could be quite a bit slow. we didn't install. We did install. Never mind. Okay, let's try a skirmish first. Game speed is uncapped. Let's see. So we have 30 FPS right now. Let me unlock the FPS. Oof. It's slower. It's slower. This is faster. Why am I mistaken? It looks faster, huh? It's hard to measure. Let me think. How can we measure this correctly? Okay, we can go like a region, right? So we can say we start here above the money, and we go from here to here. We eyeball the distance roundabout. Yeah. So I go from here to here, right? And then we observe the speed. Okay, so this. Yeah. Now let's set the FPS to 30. Is it the same or not? It's hard to say. Could be the same. I mean, it seems to be, the scrolling seems to be equally fast no matter how the FPS goes. So it seems to be correct. Yeah. Let me load some replay. Yeah, this replay here will mismatch, but it's fine. It's fine. Okay, so, oof. And on fast forward, it feels quite a bit jumpy scrolling. Yeah, it's quite stuttery. I wonder if there's something we can do about that. But otherwise, it seems to be that the speed is about the same, yeah. Okay, so that's good. Yeah. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. Yeah. Okay, what about arrow keys? Yeah. Yeah. Seems to be okay. Add in the window scroll amount as a minimum. What is this? Add in the scroll amount? What does that mean? Add in the window scroll amount as a minimum. Any clue why this has two? Any clue why this has two? I'm confused why there's this calculation and then there's another one. That's unexpected in some way, right? Why is this? Do we know why this has two steps to calculate the scrolling? Yeah, I don't understand why it has to do this and then this afterwards. It's weird. Normalizes this vector. Maybe it's to get the direction. This looks really, this looks strange here. This looks strange here because the first offset values look to be used for used for a direction, a unit direction vector vec. And then what is vec used for? Vec. I find this portion here very confusing. Very confusing. The first offset is used to create a unit vector, but then the offset is modified once more with seemingly arbitrary math. It really makes no sense to me. Like here they scale this with this factor, and then now this was added here by Mauler, but okay, so this gets like a direction. Yeah, but why is it scaled? Why is this scaled? Because we just need the direction, right? So direction we would just get from this. That's the direction, right? This and that. And then so we normalize it, so it becomes a unit vector, right? And then it's used here. And then so the scaling should only be down here. The first offset is used to create a unit vector. First offset is used to create a unit vector. But then the offset is modified once more with seemingly arbitrary math. So essentially it looks as if it does this. Let me put that up. So essentially refactored, it looks as if it does this. So we take this, So let me break this down. This and this, right? This, okay. And then we put this back in, this, and then it does this. Then it does this times 2. Well, it's not true. It's not times 2. It's squared. SQR squared. This squared. Then it does logic. This is also squared. Right? This goes away. Squared. Then it does this here. Yeah. And then it does this squared. Yeah. Squared times this squared. And then he also mixed in this division by 2 here. Division by 2. How does this? It's really weird. Yeah. I don't understand what the calculation there is. What? It seems so random. It's extremely random, yeah. Yeah. I think it would be nice if we can simplify this code. It seems super arbitrary. Super arbitrary. Yeah. We can also write this as 0.5. Strange. Fast forwards. Scroll during fast forwards feels a bit feels not smooth. Anything we could do about that, or does it primarily, or does it come down to to stalls? Yeah, I mean, if we have a long stall, then why? If we have a, hold on, let me see that. It's probably bound to performance. So a bit of a jump when you first enter and leave fast forward. But okay. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's mainly performance issue as it jumps, right? Lags, so yeah, that's different discussion. I think the scrolling itself is okay. Yeah, I think yeah, I think that doesn't need a comment then. scrolling. Okay, let's think about how fast should the scrolling be. Just the default scrolling. I think we just need to get the default scrolling to a reasonable speed. Probably the reference scroll speed probably is 30 FPS single player, right? That's probably the reference scroll speed. Yeah. So yeah, I would say that's the most reasonable. The 30 FPS single player scroll speed, that should be the reference scroll speed. So that the original game scroll speeds. Okay, let me ask this. How does the scroll speeds now compare to original scroll speeds? I think we do need a reference where the changed scroll speed matches the scroll speed at a certain FPS of the original game. I think 30 FPS is a good candidate. It's a good candidate. So basically get the is a good candidate because that is the default single player frame rates. So basically get a scroll speed default single player frame rate. And I think it's also a replay frame rate. Let me see. Yeah, and replay frame rate. Yeah. It's a default single player and replay. Default single player and replay frame rate. So basically we can set up the default scroll speed to be identical to the original game at 30 FPS. Is this currently the case? Compared to the original game scroll speeds. I think we do need a reference points where the changed scroll speeds matches the scroll speeds at a certain FPS of the original game. I think a 30 FPS is a good candidate because that is the default single player and replay frame rate. So basically we can set up the default scroll speed to be identical to the original game at 30 FPS. That way it will be also easier to reason how much something needs to be scaled to match the scrolling speed of the original game. So for example, 60 FPS players would then need to 2x their scroll speeds. Then need to 2x the scroll speeds to get the same scroll speeds as they did in the original game. Players using 60 FPS. But then need to 2x the scroll speeds to get the same scroll speed. Yeah, I think the scroll speed, it should not be changed arbitrarily. There needs to be a strong concept where we say we make the scroll speed independent of the frame rate, but we set it to be identical to scroll in any frame rate the same way that it scrolled at 30 FPS in the original game. And then that's the reference point. Okay. That means that from 30 to 60 FPS in the original game, the scroll speed would be twice as fast, right? Because it would be 2x. The frame rate would be twice as fast, so the scroll speed would also be twice as fast, right? And so if you now say, okay, I had 60 FPS, that means I need to double my scroll speed. I had 120 FPS, I need to 4x my scroll speed, right? So you have like a good reference point. If we just change it arbitrarily, then it's harder to, how do I set it up? Well, you can just, try it out. But I think there's value in being precise here. Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. It's also then easier for us to make the right decisions going forward, because right now I have no idea what the reference is, what the reference point is. Yeah. So yeah, it needs a bit of clarification. And this division by 2 here, this looks like it will throw it off in some way. Yeah, it looks like that the right mouse button scrolling would now be could now be referring to 15 FPS in the original game, right? Because it's half as fast. So I imagine that now in the original game, at 30 FPS, here this would be half as fast, twice as slow, I think. So yeah, it looks risky. Yeah. Yeah, needs a little bit more discussion, I think. Okay. Good. Do we look at anything else? Oh, I'm a bit tired. Maybe we'll take a break already. Yeah, maybe end it here. I don't really feel like doing anything right now. Last weeks have been entertaining, but also exhausting sometimes. Yeah. feel like I'm not progressing as fast as would be possible. It's everything is a little bit slow, sluggish. Yeah, there's just so much work and no end in sight, right? Just keeps on, the work keeps on coming, never ends. Yeah, we have 475 issues. 475 issues. It's just the obvious ones. Well, we closed 80. That's not too bad. Closed 377 pull requests. Yeah. Maybe we can merge something here. Let me see. This one still has a task to do. Or is it done? It's to do. Okay. 4 tasks done. Oh. Proof. Okay, this one could be merged. This one can be merged. This one cannot be merged. It still has a task. Wasn't a retake client. Sorry. Refactor tunnel contain. What is this? Refactor tunnel contain. List. Random list swap. List. Yeah. I'm a bit confused here about this change. Right. In 0 hour, this is already added. And now we also add it to generals. I see. Okay. I was confused. Like, why is this change adding this new function just for a refactor? But it's just in 0 hour we already added it, but not in generals. There we go. Okay, that's fine. tunnel contain items list, yeah. Refactor some code. Refactor. Refactor code. Refactor. Refactor evacuation code. Okay. Okay, then I think I will merge that as well. Looks fairly safe. Okay. Yeah. Awesome. Fix mismatch. move this into the ifdef. Move this behind the ifdef, and fix the comments formats. Like the others, and fix the comment. Several times in this change. Better move this behind the ifdef. The other places. According to comment format. Mismatch arrays. To comment style. Comments can be simplified. For compactness, so desired. These multi-line comments could be simplified. think this is already replicated in generals. Yeah, it is. Okay. Okay. Good. I will take a break here. Yeah. All right. Then I wish you a great day or night. Until next time, goodbye.